Welcome back. This is Gender Discourse, and today we are talking about the misuse of dowry provisions. These are what well, folks, we are very interestingly joined by Mr. Shoaib Ilyasi, who's a producer, director, and who is in he's making a film called Section 498A, The Wedding Gift. So, Shoaib, welcome to the show, first of all.
Thank you so much indeed.
Now, Shoaib, I want to know that what really prompted you to make a film on this section, and you call it The Wedding Gift. So, first of all, I would like to know that.
I had a friend called Syed Makhdoom. He was my college friend, and he committed suicide about 2.5 years ago. He wanted the custody. There was a marriage through internet. He didn't know about the girl that he was getting married to, and he was trapped in a matrimonial relationship.
Right.
And he wanted the custody of his child, and the girl was extorting money from him, and he had no option but to commit suicide, and it was really very tragic. He made a video of himself on his cell phone and requesting the nation, asking the girl that he should be handed over. He should be at least allowed to meet the boy of his child, but it was never allowed, and he committed suicide. So that was a very tragic incident that inspired me to do a feature film on this.
Right. So, Shoaib, when you did your research, what were the kind of things that you found? Do you really believe that these kind of incidents are on the rise, and women are actually using 498A as a weapon against the husbands?
I absolutely agree, and it's almost every third household story these days. We need stronger laws to protect women, to empower women. But this Act 498A, the IPC section, is absolutely misused and abused by certain wasted, interest women organizations, women in particular.
Okay. So, Shoaib, do you think you're going to find many takers on this? Because in our country, as far as dowry is concerned, we know that it is a huge malice in our country. And here, we may have these stories which may be few and far between. But do you think you'll find too many takers for this?
There are lots of takers for the film. I was invited by the LOKSABHA recently, which is reviewing this act. The petition committee, and I suggested 4 solutions to this problem. We told them that one, it should be available. Number 2, it should be gender neutral. अभी कानून सिर्फ ये मानता है कि जुल्म मर्द ही कर सकता है, औरत जुल्म नहीं करती है, और मर्द ये इख्तियार नहीं है, उसका हक नहीं है कि वो FIR दर्ज करे अगर उसके घर में किस तरह का हादसा पेश आता है। और तीसरा ये कि ये इस तरह के केसेस को 6 महीनों के अंदर उनको कंक्लूड किया जाना चाहिए। और चौथा ये कि 498A के साथ साथ 498B का भी प्रावधान होना चाहिए, इसका प्रोविजन होना चाहिए, ताकि झूठे केस करने वालों के खिलाफ भी को ये ताकत हो, ये इख्तियार हो कि वो झूठे कंप्लेंट करने वालों को के खिलाफ सख्त कार्रवाई की जा सके, ताकि गलत झूठी कंप्लेंट करने वालों को ये डर रहेगा कि अगर उनकी कंप्लेंट अगर होती है, सच सामने आता है, तो उनके खिलाफ भी कार्रवाई की जा सकती है। तो इससे बहुत बड़े पैमाने पर इसके मिसयूज पर रोक लगेगी। और इससे पीड़ित है, दुखी है, यकीनन इस कानून में बदलाव की जरूरत है।
Right. Shoaib, thank you so much for joining us, and I do wish you a lot of luck with this film.
Thank you so much indeed.
Wasif, obviously I'll come to you on this. So what is your reaction to this director who believes in your cause so very seriously and is taking it up the way he is?
I think it's a very, very bold step and courageous step by him. This kind of step, going into mass media and highlighting this issue, making a movie on this, it was long due. And I think in the spate of last, say, couple of years, people are now feeling that these kind of issues where men are at the receiving end needs to be projected as well. And there is no shame in projecting it also.
Right.
Maybe some 10 years back, people were hesitant. but now people are coming up. You must see Pyar Ka Panchnama. It also gives a very sorry state of men in a relationship. So this is a very bold step. We fully support it. And
okay, so let me go to Ranjana ji now. Ranjana ji, we do know that these cases are there. They may be few and far between, but those who are suffering are really suffering.
Well, when marriages break down, certainly it is not one side of the story. It has to be both sides of the story. And also, of course, in that suffering can be for both. But to say that the law is only protecting women is not true, because in dowry law, you can, you're protecting women because women is getting killed. Women is going beyond human life, as, it's really killing the person. But when you look at the divorce law, it does give you the chance to really prove to the court who's wrong and who's torturing whom. And that becomes ground for divorce these days. Earlier it was very tough, but nowadays this is not a big problem. If two people can't live together, if one is harassing the other person, you can, instead of harassing the person and killing the person, going for all kinds of other offenses, you can easily go to the court and take divorce. So it's to say that there is nothing to protect men is not true. In fact, there is everything all the way. Most of the laws are protecting in the matrimonial, laws, most of it, including the personal laws, which really define all matrimonial relationships. They are all made in such a way. In fact, there was a review proposed by Latika Sarkardi, and in that time it was already said by the Women's Commission that let us review all the laws and look at their provisions and see how women are really suffering at the hands of law. Because even when the law is supposed to provide protection to everybody, and instead of looking at all that and giving women, and what is the story of India at the moment? Story of India is that majority of women who have suffered have, not even complained. That is story of India. Majority of women who are getting violent situation in the home are keeping silent. So that's the truth, and I'm shocked and surprised. And people who are saying all this, if there are real genuine sufferers, I'm sure they must get justice too. I'm not absolutely against men who are suffering due to whatever reason are to be penalized. I'm not for that. But then, who's really suffering in the country at the moment as far as domestic violence and dowry violence is concerned? Women.
You have made the point about complaints, make false complaints and thereby proceeding against them. But that can be nipped right at that moment when the family or them, they are coming to the police station to register a complaint, isn't it? So why to wait for another 10 years for a 498A case? Ample, what I understand is around 7 to 15 years would be taking the time to complete the entire trial if we consider the right to appeal up to the Supreme Court. That's one aspect. So it can be.
Okay, finally, since we are running short of time, Soumya, I would now want you to tell us very simply, if there are men watching today, and if there is someone who is really suffering, what is the course of action as a lawyer that you would want to advise him?
Well, as if a person against whom a case has been registered under 498A, he has all the right to challenge, to quash the FIR, to quash the charge sheet, because according to him, he understands that there is a false allegation. And it is this quashing of FIR and charge sheet is nothing new. It's already there in the law. So he has got all the right to do so. Secondly, he has all the right to take a case against, there is section 209 IPC and other offences where false charges are made. So he can register an FIR against that. Secondly, he can use the personal law to get divorce. As simple as that. If he is feeling that cruelty is meted out to him, then he can use the law to get rid of the marriage person.
And finally, I want to ask you, Wasif, here, that do you think there may be many more cases lurching somewhere there, but due to the shame attached, due to the stigma attached, not many men are also able to come out with the problems that they may be facing?
Absolutely. See, since we started 5-6 years back, only a very fraction few are attached with us. It's just a tip of the iceberg. A very large percentage of people, they are still suffering. So we have to actually reach to them, make awareness and everything. And I can tell you, the way you have been saying that it's the story of the women in India that is suffering. I can guarantee you that it's the story of the men as well.
Is also the same.
If it's not more, it's not less. I can guarantee you
That's
that.
right.
Okay.
Well,
Point number two.
Yeah.
Well, we have to redefine patriarchy then. We have to redefine
Of course, I'm totally against patriarchy. Patriarchy
So,
favors
This debate, this debate could go on and on, but since we are
just
yeah,
1 minute,
very
I
quickly,
think,
Raja.
since the law is with the standing committee, I think it is very important for the standing committee to come to any view which is well considered, one, and which is not harming
They are
women
backed on
in
evidence.
any way, which is backed on evidence of this misuse, because otherwise it is going to do injustice to women.
All right.
There's one point I wanted to make, that regarding suffering of men, you are giving the option of divorce, going to the civil law.
Because you yourself have said that marriages are breaking and therefore the rise of 498A.
I'm
So I'm giving you an option that way if matrimonial disputes are happening, then use it.
I have to file a criminal case against that woman. What should I do?
What should you do?
The same thing the woman should do. No, why 498A?
She,
All right.
it's based
I
on
think
that she is
let's-
not using the law. That's what
As
person was
I
put to me.
said, this debate could go on forever, but we can just hope that things will be better, not only for women, also for men. So I'd like to say thank you to all three of you. Well, friends, laws are made for clear functioning of society as a whole. But if some laws, due to their sheer possibility of being twisted and getting misused, become a norm rather than an exception, then it is time that the lawmakers take a deep look to see whether it is time to amend them. So is the case with the dowry laws. One can only hope that the laws are not twisted and turned according to the whims and fancies of certain people, so that no innocent people are made to suffer thereof. So on that hopeful note, it's time to wind up today's gender discourse. I promise to see you next week with another engaging discussion on another important gender issue. Till then, this is Dowry Harassment saying goodbye and take very good care of yourselves.